I'm Gus Hodges. My pronouns are he, him. I am a senior philosophy major, and I am involved on the volleyball team, in the choir. I am involved in Greek life as well as IFC, the governing body of Greek life, and I'm a peer mentor.
Okay, well, thank you for talking with me today.
Of course, glad to be here.
So today we're talking about self-care and like how to use self-care to like get out of any like hard times
Sure.
you're having. So have you ever experienced a downtime in college?
Oh, hugely. I have a fun thing called depression.
Me too.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
We ball. We rock those, ride the wave. So yes, I find that. So I've spent time both in academia, just like, and in the workforce. I'm a little bit older than most students. So I found that in academia, it actually hits me much harder because, like, everything that we do here is in waves. So like sometimes you have like a ton of work at a specific time, and then everything gets really overwhelming, and then I shut down. As opposed to like when things are really steady and consistent, I'm like, cool.
Yeah. So what are those? If you don't mind me asking, like,
Sure,
what
go
are
for it.
those hard times like?
So for me, it looks a little different than I know that most of my peers and friends that struggle with depression. My slumps don't so much look at like, oh, I can't get out of bed and can't do anything, although I know that's like a very common thing. Mine look like, cool, I'm going to avoid absolutely everything that I don't want to do.
Yeah, mine are like that.
Yeah, so like it's very high energy almost for me when I get depressed or have slumps, at least academically. So I still show up to volleyball practice. I still show up to choir. I still hang out with my friends or spend time with my girlfriend. But I just end up doing all of those things more than I should, and I don't end up doing like productive things, like doing the paperwork I need to do, or writing the paper I need to do, or reading, that kind of thing. So that can be really hard. It's a really big struggle because it just piles up over time, and then it gets worse. And I'm like, cool, I'm just gonna avoid all of that.
Yeah. Have you found anything that helps?
For sure. Hugely helpful for me is routines. So finding a time that, like, making sure that I wake up every morning at the same time is really, really helpful for me. Other than when I have to wake up at 5 a.m. for volleyball, I do not do that consistently because I don't want to. The rest of the time I wake up at like 8. It's great. But so getting up at the same time, going to bed at similar times is really helpful for me. And eating a meal at the same time. It's not always the same meal for me every day. But like it's not always like, cool, breakfast now, lunch now, dinner now, because, like, days are different. But if I know I have like this chunk of time from like 1 to 2 every single day, I'll try to always eat lunch then, because that makes the rest of my day kind of like fall in place around it. I know it's kind of like beating a dead horse for people that have like listened to depression discourse, but like going and doing physical things really does help me.
Yeah, I think that people think that, like, when you're like, oh, you should like exercise, people think, oh, well, I don't really want to go do like an hour of yoga.
No,
or like
running. Running's terrible.
Like, no, my knees could not. No.
No.
But just like, I think just even just going and sitting outside.
For sure. Or like, one of the things that I really like to do is, the Norton is just a little bit away.
Yeah.
I'll just go walk around, and they've always got like new plants sprouting up, or like displays and things like that. And so just like walking around and looking at the pretty flowers,
Yeah.
like that's still getting outside, getting some vitamin D, and still like moving yourself.
Yeah, or like going to Rhinos and getting coffee and sitting outside, or
Sure.
you could do it at Rainbows here.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, I know that some people like really hate the outside, so just like sitting in an open window.
Yeah. They've got good ones at Jackson.
They do. I love the windows there.
Mm-hmm.
In the theater, we have a green room,
Yeah.
and it's a bunch of windows against one wall,
Very
and
nice.
so it's really nice. But yeah, I know what you mean with the like putting off the things that you don't want to do.
Mhm.
I definitely do that.
Oh yeah.
Especially since I struggle with things like ADHD and things like that too. So then
Me
I
too.
really don't want to go do those things.
Oh, it is its own kind of hell.
Yeah. But besides like finding like a routine and going outside and doing like things like that, have you found anything to like maybe help prevent those slumps or help prevent them from like necessarily being like as bad?
Making sure I don't let things build up is really big for me. I find that it's like whenever I just like keep shoving things on the back burner, they build up, and eventually it's like the backpack I've shoved everything in is too heavy and I don't walk anymore. So making sure I get things done on time ahead of time. I know that's not something that you want to hear when you're going through a slump. And it's like, oh, just don't do that. And you're like, ah, duh.
That's great advice.
Why didn't I think
Wow.
of that? But if you're not currently in a slump, making sure that you stay on top of things, having people that hold me accountable for getting things done always
Yeah.
does help me. So
Deadlines are really powerful.
deadlines are really powerful. Missing deadlines, even more powerful in the opposite direction. As soon as I don't think a deadline is important anymore, suddenly it's just game over.
Yeah.
Sorry, any professors that are watching this.
So how can a peer mentor help if if someone's like in a slump, not doing well, anything like that?
So peer mentors can only do as much as you let them do, right? But we're willing to do it for you and with you if you let us. Like if you reach out to us when you're having a slump, we'll see what we can do and talk through it. It's an individualized purpose and thing like that. Like if me texting you at 10 o'clock, hey, did you go to class? Or like, hey, reminder to go to class 30 minutes will help. I'll set an alarm and I'll do that. That's fine. If you saying, hey, I do need more structure, can we pick an hour every week, like at this time that we're always studying together? I will go do that with you. Totally cool. Excuse me. I think it is very step by step, but it's mostly is like we are in these positions because we're willing to help and want to help, and it's a very non-judgmental help. At least on my end, I can say that I believe that of my other fellow peer mentors, but I can only say it like from a place of knowing for me. Like I can almost promise that prior to centenary, I was in worse. Not I shouldn't say worse. I'm not trying to compare myself to other people. I've been in those slumps, and I'm not going to judge you for them. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm worse or better than anyone else. It's so easy.
Well, there's I really like the outlook on it. So like if you say other people have it worse than me, and then you go, okay, well I'm happy. Should I not be happy because other people have it better than me?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, and comparing yourself to other people, especially as far as emotions are concerned or like abilities are concerned, kind of a moot point in my brain because you just aren't in other people's heads. It's you just don't know and can't compare yourself to other people, but you can empathize with them. Like if I see that you are also struggling to get your work done, hey, been in that struggle for a long time, we can figure it out.
Yeah, and then for like the people who have been struggling for a long time, like just because you've been struggling for so long doesn't mean that you're past like a point of getting help. Like you can always go, I don't want to be in pain anymore. I don't want to like I want to get better. I want to like study more.
Yeah, like fun facts with Gus, right? Left UNT with a .25. Wildly low GPA.
Yeah.
Like wild. Was on the dean list a semester ago. Like turns around. It does. Or it can, not it does.
Yeah, I have to put in the work for it.
Yeah, for sure. If you use the resources around you, which there are resources. I'm not going to say that they all work perfectly for everybody, but there are resources to look into and resources to try. See what you can make work.
Yeah, and then I've noticed that like the resources that we do have is like they don't work for you. Like there are people who are willing to find you other resources.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
If what I'm doing with you as a peer mentor isn't working out, I have resources that I can go to see what I can change, and if not, there's other places we can look. If I'm not what's working, that is not a reflection of you or of me. I'm not going to internalize that. I hope you don't either. We can figure out something that will work.
Yeah, I really like that. Do you have anything else you want to add?
Do things that you think are fun. Sometimes you can burn out on school and be in a slump even though you're doing work, and you're doing it at just like a snail's pace because you know you're not happy with what you're doing. Taking rest and doing the things that are fulfilling, not even fun. Like I can go to a party and like mess around and go crazy and have fun, but it's not fulfilling to me.
Yeah.
Find things that are fulfilling, and that will carry you through your week.